Clash of the Titans, loosely based on the stories of Perseus. So if you know the rough outline of Perseus, you know where the story begins. With King Acrisius of Argos finding out that his wife, Danae, had a Zeus son named Perseus, via a thankfully off-screen divine golden shower. He has Danae and Percy put in a box and tossed into the sea. In the original story, this is because Acrisius heard a prophecy that one day his son will kill him. But in the film, there is no prophecy. Instead, he just tossed them in, and hopefully the sea drowning them, not him, counts as not kinslaying. The gods go on trial to see if this makes sense, but Zeus rules that no it doesn't. So as punishment, Zeus calls up his brother Poseidon to release the Kraken, more about what that is later, to destroy Argus. Zeus is played by the god of acting, Laurence Olivier. Aphrodite is played by Ursula Andress, who you know as the lady from James Bond Dr. No. Despite having a high billing, she only has one line in the whole film. Percy is alive with his very 70s hair, which is the style of Seraphon. He's played by Harry Hamlin in his first role. He'll even eventually go on to play Perseus in God of War. He was actually married to Ursula at this time and even had a kid during production. This is Thetis, who's upgraded to goddess status despite being a Nereid, which is a female sea spirit. She's played by a young Mrs. McGonagall.
Why, once he even tried to ravish me, disguised as a cuttlefish.
Did he succeed?
I simply turned myself into a shark.
Kinky.
She's got a son named Calibos who's evil, especially for taking out most of Zeus's Pegasus collection but one. So Zeus decides to customize his action figure and turn him into a goat snake person. That ruins his engagement to Princess Andromeda. So now Thetis is pissed and makes Andromeda's soul wander. Callie's an original character from the movie based off of Shakespeare's character Caliban. Or Caliban, as everyone says. More like Caliborn. He's a mix of stop motion and makeup, originally meant to be a silent character, but they gave him dialogue that makes him somewhat tragic, but he's still pretty evil. So Thetis teleports Percy to Jupa, which is where Callie lives, hoping he'll commit suicide via epic quest. If he fails the riddle, he'll be burned at the stake. Percy wakes up looking like someone who just teleported to the middle of a baseball court.
Who are you?
First tell me where I am!
There's another original character for the movie, Amon, played by the legendary Burgess Meredith. He's basically the Obi-Wan Kenobi for the movie. I mean, he even gives him a magic sword from Aphrodite, so it's super blinged. Plus an invisibility helmet from Athena, and even Hera gives him a magic shield that has the god Zoom account on. So Percy walks in a random direction and takes every quest he can get, like capturing the Pegasus, finding Andromeda, which starts a little creepy but turns around because he defeats a giant vulture and saves her soul, solves a riddle, beats up Callie, takes his hand, plus Andromeda's hand in marriage. He might have lost the invisibility helmet, but everyone's looking up for Percy.
Give Andromeda the most beautiful of all prizes, more lovely than the goddess Thetis herself.
That sounds pretty heretical to say. I mean, you're literally in her house. Do you think that's uh-oh?
Your daughter Andromeda must be taken to the sacrificial rock at the edge of the sea. She must be delivered to the Kraken at the setting of the sun.
Well, damn, shouldn't have bragged. Now we have a whole second movie. Percy, who's really starting to look like Mick Jagger playing He-Man, now has to figure a way to defeat the Kraken.
Your friend, Bubo, the owl.
Instead, Athena makes Hephaestus cameo to create a robot copy of her owl Bubo. So yes, this movie literally has a steampunk R2-D2 sounding owl. He really doesn't hurt the film, and like the rest of the stop motion in the film, it's crazy well done and smooth like butter. And that fluid animation was done by the legend himself, Ray Harryhausen.
Because I saw a film. The film happened to be the first issue of King Kong. I felt this is what I wanted to do.
Inspired by the groundbreaking work of Willis O'Brien in the original King Kong, Ray became the absolute master of stop-motion animation. I mean, just look at some of his work. I mean, it's almost too well animated, just how fluid and smooth it is. Clash of the Titans was sadly his last major work and absolutely his magnum opus. Clash itself can also be seen as the last hurrah of the old epic fantasy movie, as the 80s went into the dark fantasy genre.
Most people feel it's rather childish to have an imagination. I don't agree with that. I think you should go through life and imagine the very best.
What a guy, what a man, what a legend. Back to the film, and Percy plays keep away with the single eye of the Fates until they tell him to defeat the Kraken they need the head of Medusa. Oh hey Chiron, everyone calls you Chiron, and you look like Skeletor. So Percy gets a group and Chiron ferries them to the island, where they fight animals like a two-headed, not three-headed Cerberus, a snake, some giant scorpions, Callie with a harpoon hand, which Percy loses his magic sword on, until finally they get to Medusa, who is the absolute best stop-motion character ever created. Like the flame always flickering, the snakes going different directions, the rattle, her shooting arrows. Like, this was animated by people like this. Like, oh my god, this is so maddening. So yeah, Medusa's gaze turns people to stone, so Percy's got to think more strategic with his mirror shield, until he finally... Then he turns the audience into stone. They put Andromeda in her best glittery dress and call for some Ricola, which summons the Kraken. Probably one of the top 5 most famous stop-motion creatures of all time, but I would still say Medusa is more impressive. But this is a very original design. Percy arrives on the Pegasus, and uh-oh. It's finally time for the Clash of the Titans. You know, technically there isn't one, because Medusa is a Gorgon, and even the Kraken being called the last Titan at the beginning of the film, technically he's not even from Greek mythology, as he's from Norse, tales of giant squids. So, whatever, Medusa's stare one-shots the Kraken into stone, he crumbles, the day is saved. Tossing Medusa's head into the ocean, and Zeus is putting his sandal down, he's done with people messing with Percy. He's so over it, he doesn't even care if people stop worshipping them. Yeah, right. This movie is amazing. Well, yeah, to be honest, Percy's acting's not the greatest. Burgess Meredith's basically forgotten after the first third of the film. There's some obvious blue screens. Like I joked about earlier, it kind of feels like 2 movies smushed together, and it messes with the original mythology. But the positives of the film well overtake the negatives. The stop motion is gorgeous, the music's epic, the action's great, it's just a fun adventure. The rest of the acting's pretty good, and the gods are very well depicted. Very catty and full of drama like they need to be. They're not solidly good, above everything kind of creatures. Hades is not in this movie, but rule of thumb, Hades is in fact not Satan, and it's a bad adaptation to make him so. It's okay to have him be the antagonist, but doubly bad adaptation if you make him want to overthrow Olympus, which has zero basis in mythology and is so comically overdone in modern adaptations. I say this, but the new additions to this movie do add to the source material. You gotta remember, there's no Hellenic pagan Bible writing down all the canonical stories and how they are supposed to go. The mythology basically differed from person to person, like who's Dionysus' parents? Is it Hades and Persephone? Zeus and a random girl? Zeus and Persephone? It's definitely Hades and Persephone. I mean, Zeus has enough kids. The filmmakers knew the source material, but added to the stories because stories need to be retold so often, and it's okay to have some differences. Though I guess talking like that, it's kind of the exact same thing if they took the story of Noah's Ark and added talking animals and an evil couple to wait a minute. Overall, Clash of the Titans might be flawed in some aspects, but definitely overcomes those problems, being a fun epic film and a great introduction to Greek mythology, if you're okay with death and some bare ass. 8.5 out of 10. But let me know what you thought down below, as well as making sure to hit the like button, hyping on mobile is very appreciated, and subscribe for more.